tilting forward of shoulders. "Impossible," said Levana. Cinder had evidence of its potential. "As it was described to me, on an earthen, the device will keep their bioelectricity from being tampered with. But on a lunar, it will prevent them from using their gift at all. Cinder herself had the device installed when she arrived at the Commonwealth Ball. Only when it was destroyed was she able to use her gift, as was evidenced with your own eyes, my queen." His words carried an air of impertinence. Levana's knuckles turned white. "How many of these hypothetical devices exist?" "To my knowledge, only the broken device installed in the cyborg herself. But I suspect there still exist patents or blueprints. The inventor was Cinder's adoptive father." The queen's grip began to relax. "This is intriguing information, Sir Clay, but it speaks more of a desperate attempt to save yourself than true innocence." Jacin shrugged, nonchalant. "If my loyalty cannot be seen in how I conducted myself with the enemy, obtaining this information, and alerting thaumaturge Mira to the plot to kidnap Emperor Kaito, I don't know what other evidence I can provide for you, my queen." Yes, the anonymous tip Sybil received, alerting her to Cinder's plans. Levana sighed. "I find it very convenient that this comm you claim to have sent was seen by no one other than Sybil herself, who is now dead." For the first time, Jacin looked off balance beneath the queen's glare. He still had not looked at Winter. The queen turned to Jericho Solace, her captain of the guard. Like so many of the queen's guards, Jericho made Winter uncomfortable, and she often had visions of his orange-red hair going up in flames and the rest of him burning down to a smoldering coal. "You were with Sybil when she ambushed the enemy's ship that day, yet you said before that Sybil had mentioned no such comm. Have you anything to add?" Jericho took a step forward. He had returned from their earthen excursion with a fair share of bruises, but they had begun to fade. "My queen, Thaumaturge Mira seemed confident we would find Cinder on that rooftop, but she did not mention receiving any outside information, anonymous or otherwise. When the ship landed, it was Thaumaturge Mira who ordered Jacin Clay to be taken into custody." Jacin's eyebrow twitched. "Perhaps she was still upset that I shot her," he paused before adding. "While under Cinder's control, in my defense." "You seem to have plenty to say in your defense," said Levana. Jacin didn't respond. It was the calmest Winter had ever seen a prisoner. He, who knew better than anyone the horrible things that happened on this floor, in the very spot where he stood. Levana should have been infuriated by his audacity, but she seemed merely thoughtful. "Permission to speak, my queen." The crowd rustled, and it took a moment for Winter to discern who had spoken. It was a guard, one of the silent ornamentations of the palace. Though she recognized him, she didn't know his name. Levana glowered at him, and Winter imagined her calculating whether to grant the permission or punish the man for speaking out of turn. Finally, she said, "What is your name, and why do you dare interrupt these proceedings?" The guard stepped forward, staring at the wall, always at the wall. "My name is Liam Kinney, my queen. I assisted with the retrieval of Thaumaturge Mira's body." A questioning eyebrow to Jericho, a confirming nod received. "Go on," said Levana. "Mistress Mira was in possession of a port screen when we found her, and, though it was broken in the fall, it was still submitted as evidence in the case of her murder. I wonder if anyone has attempted to retrieve the alleged comm." Levana turned her attention back to Amory, whose face was a mask that Winter recognized. The more pleasant his expression, the more annoyed he was. "In fact, we did manage to access her recent communications. I was about to bring forward the evidence." It was a lie, which gave Winter hope. Amory was a great liar, especially when it was in his best interests. And he hated Jacin. He would not want to give up anything that could